So, welcome back, everybody. I also hope you take just a minute to think about the questions we took or we presented to you, how this can help you, how you can benefit from Autodesk Forma industry and all the great things we're going to do. So, welcome back. And, well, we will continue this event with insights from our clients that are using the Autodesk Industry Cloud. Next, we can learn how Autodesk Forma is used in a fast-track delivery process for the client of BPM. Let me switch to my colleagues in Germany. Ines, I think it's up to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Colin. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my session today. But before we begin, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Ines Lammel, and I have been with NTI for almost 8 years now. My focus is on digitalization strategies within the AECO industry in Germany, with a strong emphasis on connected workflows and data-driven collaboration with Autodesk Forma. What personally fascinates me about today's topic is that this is not a discussion about software features or functionality alone. It's about real business outcomes. It's about reducing inefficiencies, enabling faster and better decisions, and creating measurable impact across complex organizations. And most importantly, it's about change management. Because successful digitalization is never just about implementing technology. It's about connecting people, processes, and data in a way that fundamentally improves how projects are delivered. And that is exactly why I see PBM as a strong role model for digital transformation in Germany. Their approach demonstrates what becomes possible when digitalization is treated as a strategic business initiative rather than simply an IT project. And this is especially relevant in complex life science and industrial projects, where teams are dealing with tight timelines, multiple stakeholders, massive amount of data, and constant coordination across disciplines. In many of these environments, the biggest challenge is not the lack of information, it's the lack of connected information. Teams spend valuable time searching for updates, aligning across systems, clarifying responsibilities, and revisiting decisions instead of moving projects forward. So the key question today is no longer how digital is a project, but rather how efficiently can teams make decisions together. And this is exactly what we will explore today together with PBM Group. PBM will share how connected data and structured workflows help reduce coordination effort, improve decision-making speed, and create measurable business impact in complex project environments. Based on real project experience, they will demonstrate how reducing coordination effort by 24 to 40 hours per week can translate into efficiency gains of 170 to 290,000 euros per project. But this session is about more than ROI alone. It's about gaining control in complex environments, increasing project stability, accelerating decisions, and reducing risk before issues become costly problems. Today's session will be led by two experienced experts from PBM Group. Kathrin Funkat, branch manager at PBM Group, brings a strong strategic perspective on project delivery and organizational transformation within complex industrial environments. Together with Jan Warsawa, lead BIM management at PBM Group, who focuses on connected workflows and BIM-driven coordination. They will share practical insights into how PBM successfully turns digitalization into measurable business value. I'm very excited to have PBM with us today to share their experience and practical insights. And with that, I'd like to hand over to Kathrin and Jan.
Thank you, Ines, for the introduction. And hello, everyone, from my side as well. I'm Kathrin from PBM, and together with my colleague Jan, I'm happy to share today how we create real business value with connected data. Let me start with who we are. PBM Group is a general planner for life science facilities. We combine EPC, EPCM, planning and qualification in one team. With about 40 EPC experts internally and up to 75 subplanners, we create a project volume of around 350 million euro per year. Our strength is we take full responsibility from concept to delivery. Since 2018, we work together with leading companies across the industry, as you can see. Our focus is always on tailored solutions. Every project is different, and so is every solution. What are our core competences? Our services cover the full project lifecycle, from site planning to engineering to BIM and qualification. Especially important, we coordinate all disciplines and track them through our own project management, because complexity only works with integration. Our USP is fast-track delivery. Our project follow a fast-track approach. That means planning, permitting, and construction run in parallel. This saves time without reducing quality. Every cog must mesh perfectly. We cannot afford friction losses, misunderstandings, or inefficiency. We use modular design to stay flexible and scalable. Standardized modules reduce complexity significantly, with the result, a fully qualified facility in about 18 months. And now, to make this more tangible, Jan will show you some real project examples from practice. Jan, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Kathrin, and yeah, warm welcome to everyone listening. My name is Jan. Thank you also for the nice introduction. Yeah, I wanted to show you some of our challenges and how we started to tackle them. In these high intense projects, we face a lot of them, and I just want to show you a couple of examples of that. One of them being huge amounts of data. We get data from 10 plus different sources per project. With that, it comes a lot of loss of information while transferring. We have an unrecognizable history. And the thing is that we wanted like a single source of truth. We wanted like secure transfer of information and a very clear tracking process. Another thing is that typical communication is scattered through like mails and one-on-one calls or big group calls where people are inside that don't actually know how to process that information, or in one-on-one in-person communication. That leads to a bunch of problems, but we want to centralize and archive our information, have like follow-ups for team members for specific tasks, and also link those tasks and issues with documents, pictures, and sheets. Then there's repetitive tasks, and that's something that's not to underestimate. Those are very time consuming for the project team, very demotivating and monotonous. We wanted to set like workflow standards and automate with flexibility where we can adjust different workflows. And we want to have like a cross-checking mechanism to not leave the decision-making to the automation, but also give the power to the project members. Also, with those projects come a lot of like a high demand for coordination, since we have a lot of people involved, the different disciplines to coordinate, and that involves like all parties, because we never know what has actually changed and what's the matter of specific issues. It's therefore very time consuming and has a very high risk of overlooking changes, because you always have to bring everyone in to tell you what they've changed. And we wanted like visual cues between revisions and an interface that's easy to use for all team members. Also, there is an increasing need for tracking, especially in our projects. It takes more and more time to track everything that's going on in the project. So for now, we were doing this through a bunch of spreadsheets. It's a lot of manual maintenance and has a very high risk of error. And we thought, okay, maybe we find a way to have a reliable sources and automate the reporting to have this a bit more condensed. So for all of this, around 2.5 years ago, I think, Ines, we started to implement more and more Autodesk products, and I kind of thought about it as a toolbox of what we can do and what kind of tools we need to solve our problems, to tackle our challenges. That's the way to do it. And here's like a quick overview of how we handled that. We started actually with Autodesk data management, and then upgraded a year later to, or half a year later to Forma Build. Once that was completely implemented as a collaborative project platform and single source of truth. Afterwards, we switched to NTI, not switched, but added NTI for Revit to have a couple of workflows established, like, for example, simplifying publishment of sheets to Forma directly. Then a very big game changer is DoCheck, as an adding option with QR codes to validate up-to-dateness. Gamma HR is a great example where we use iPads on the construction side for mixed reality, real-time progress tracking. That's something that we now try to implement, and we come across some difficulties. So that's also belongs to the process, and that's how it sometimes works. We recently started with Autodesk Workshop XR, which is a big benefit where we can visualize complex issues with all team project members in VR. It makes a very big difference. And now latest addition is Autodesk Platform Services, where we can adopt workflows in building our own extensions with the Autodesk API. And that gives us a whole different level of control over the project. So that all of this is not that you get a better understanding on how those tools work and how we implemented the workflows. I would like to show you a couple of examples. So first of all, the tool that flies a bit under the radar on Forma sometimes, but gives great power and value to the user, is comparing versions. I actually love that tool, and you will see soon why. Like here's, I will like start this. Here we have a mechanical model of one of our recent projects, and between the versions of the model, it's almost impossible to distinguish what has been added, removed, or changed. And here we can see the different version. And let's just say the version 36 is the last one we actually saw and know by heart. So how do we like compare those? And there's this little small, very powerful button on Forma called compare. And I can use this very magical word, one-click solution, where you just choose the different versions. And let's say like now here, version 36, and document A and document B, you compare, and literally with a click of a button, you will get a visual representation of what has been changed, what has been added and removed, or like changed and modified. And this gives us so much control, and it's like for every single project member, a real benefit to go through the versions, even compare different versions to each other. And you can like click on them and see like, okay, here it was now in that iteration, they added a lot of insulation. It's called Rohrdämmung in German. And we can see what's been added. So they removed it and like did it again. And it's just very straightforward. There's no time to overthink what has been added, what not. And in the modify tab, you see like, okay, everything is yellow. So more certainly they have not moved it, but you would see it. But like if you click on one now, here you can see that they've changed the parameters. Like here, Druckverlust by, and we can check it. Like in the version 36, it was like 0, and then in the latest version they added the proper amount of it. And yeah, this is something that you just can never do, and you will never find without a tool like this. So we love it. We use it almost daily, and it gives us a lot of control. Another way to do this is like comparing 3D models is great, but it goes very further than that. We can also compare sheets. I'm certainly not the only one who got sheets and layouts from contractors or even coworkers without a proper change log. That happens not only in our office, it happens, I guess, everywhere. So now we don't have to rely on the change log, but we can make it visual. And it's the same approach. You see here like the version 19 that is the latest. And let's say I want to compare it to like the approved version number 14, I guess. And you again go to this compare button and compare version 19 to version 14. And it works like in 2D sheet. I love it even more because it's so straightforward. You can actually see what's the latest, what's the not current version. Everything gray is still like hasn't changed. So this takes all the pressure out of having the change log and your little red clouds all over the sheet. Makes it unnecessary, and you can actually trust Forma, and that's something that gives us a lot of certainty and helps us a lot, that we can just trust the process and we don't have to overthink it twice. Another big thing is issue management and communication. We wanted to connect issue management through different platforms. And now what I'm showing you now is like one of many ways how we create, monitor, and work through issues that were created. And so here we are looking at through the iPad of our construction manager. And let's say he found a door in the clean room area where he thought, okay, maybe the cutout for the window in that door is a bit too small or something. It's just an example. So he can check for parameters in the on the Forma app, and he is like he can just set an issue. And this time, like obviously it's all in German, but say, okay, we just put it as a change, and he just fills in all the different attributes. It's like, please check the door, something super simple. That's something that's also been easily done on the construction side on the iPad. He puts the required person, or he forwards it to me in that moment, sets a starting date and a due date. And also he could, like now on the construction site, say, okay, there's something I wanted to take a picture of. So he goes down here to like use camera. If he does, exactly. Like, oh, he took a picture on the construction site, and he can make markups in it, and it's just very intuitive. There's not much choice there. And it's again very straightforward, which is very important to us because it's just so much amount of data and so many issues that have to be solved, that it's sometimes tricky, and we have to like make it as easy as possible for our construction manager and for everyone involved. So once we did this, and once we set the due date to a specific day, the issue will change automatically from draft to open, and And then let's say, and that's now where we are with our clients, that we have meetings where we discuss complex issues in through our VR environment. So we're here now with our project team in VR. We see now the issue that we've created, or that the construction manager created on the app, on the iPad, on site, and we can just open it and see what's going on. We can take the measure tool and make this couple of measurements and say like, okay, yeah, it's like 40 by 60. So that seems right. And they've discussed it and said, okay, yeah, this is how we want it. So there's not much we have to, maybe we have to change like a parameter or something. And they can set now the due date maybe to the 2 days earlier because it's easy. So you can adjust and modify the issue on each of the platforms I'm showing you. So he puts it now in progress, and that's for the meeting. So you do that, and just to show you how it looks in Workshop XR. So we also can like move around and go from the outside to the project, and that really helps our clients to understand what we are building, especially in the early process. Yeah. So then it comes to editing, and another big thing that I think maybe sometimes not talked about enough is the issue management add-on for Revit. Because now that we've created the issue on the Forma app on the iPad and checked it in VR, now our project architect can go into Revit and can load their issues here in the sidebar. And here's like, okay, in Bearbeitung, so in progress, and he directly gets like led to the issue. He can see it there in the little thumbnail, and you can also use like the 3D cutout box, and now he's immediately at that door. I find this so good and so well thought of, because how often did you have to like tell your architect, okay, this is the door in room 4025, and then someone else have to look, okay, the door into which room, and maybe that room has like 7 doors, and it's always a big risk of missing, or it has a lot of communication attached to it to find out where that door actually is that they wanted to check, and then that takes up more time than actually solving the issue. So here there's again, we can trust the process. We can trust that if he put the mark on that door, then that's the door that we have to look at. And then last but not least, like finally the project manager will review all the completed issues from the week and clarify and close them. That's like what we usually do. So he goes in through the web application from Forma and sees, okay, here are like 4 closed issues and 1 completed. So he again checks it, can also again like open the picture, see like what the construction manager uploaded, and say, okay, yeah, this is like done. I can put it into like in review, or he can also like closes it. And like this, we have like a complete cycle in that workflow where all the information is tracked inside of the inside of that issue, and we can later export the data and to see like who changed what in the issue. But that's something that gives us a lot of power in our day-to-day work. Something else that we're doing is like with NTI for Revit, making this local storage unnecessary, because for us sometimes I will have to like go through a bit faster because I think I will like use all the time. What we typically do is like our architects export the sheets and then they upload them again on Forma. And with NTI for Revit, one of the many benefits is that we can automate or like part automate this. So we have these sets for uploading and for publishing the the sheets, and our architects now can use this and say, okay, we have these sheets for a steelwork, and they choose the steelwork set, and instead of exporting them locally, they just publish them directly to Forma as a PDF, as DWG, as whatever they need. And like that, we don't need that extra step of saving this locally. And then when we did that, we come to like automated review and QR tracking. That's where we go back to Forma, and we have this. So we have this thing now that we always work in a work in progress folder structure where all members can make markups and give feedback. With uploading to this structure, we find new reviewing items under review. So this is the plan that we published through NDI for Revit. So now we go into reviews, and this was automatically created. So it's usually assigned to a project manager, and he can review it, make markups, and add comments. If everything is all right, he can set the review status to approved and the code status to F for approval in German. This comes up because I'm the administrator and I'm not supposed to do that, but I still did it for this purpose. And yeah, I can review this, or the project manager can review it. We have this extra layer of checkups in between. And what we did is, like, he can again here put some comments on it, and once he did, he can forward it and submit that review. So he puts it to approval, to F for approval, exactly, and then he submits it. And here we can like choose, even like forward it to other project members that need to be notified about it. And then it says the approved file will be copied too. So we also put a workflow that once we approve the document, it will be copied to our published folder structure, where only contractors and clients have permission to see them, also like our construction workers. And then comes DoCheck back into place, where DoCheck is monitoring these folders, and now it says like version 3. So this is the newest version, the copied version from work in progress, and now it's version 4. And that happens because DoCheck is creating another copy on top of it with a new QR code. If you would like to, I encourage you to take your phone out and scan this QR code with your phone to see. You don't need any special app. You just need your camera app and check this QR code, and you will see that it says it has all the attributes from the naming conventions for compliance, and then it has like a green hook where it says in German this sheet is up to date or something, and that way our construction managers can and everyone on construction side, from client to subcontractor, can check if their plans are up to date. And you can imagine how much time that saves if our construction manager in the morning goes through the construction site, scans every single plan with his phone that he anyway has in its hand because it's ringing all the time, and whenever it pops out in another way, and that's what I'm showing you here. So this is version 4, and if I now go back to version number 2, because it's always creating a copy of the copied sheet, and if you scan this code now, you will see the same interface but with a red cross, so that this plan is not up to date. And if you have the permissions to enter Forma as a project member, then you can, even from that point on, go directly to Forma through your mobile phone and view that sheet and download it, for example, if you need to. So yeah, this is for us a super big game changer, and we love it. It saves us so much time and energy. Yeah. And last but not least, centralizing forms was a huge deal for us, to have them up to date across projects and also have them archived on Forma and always ready to reporting. We have a lot of like daily reports from a recent project, and we have all these different templates for our forms that we need on the construction side. And what's very nice about it is, like, for example, our project assistants need to make some reportings on those. And let's say, like, yeah, I want just report over the last two daily reports, or from the last 2 days, from May 11th and May 12th. So they can just select them, export, and they can, depending on the form and depending on the template, what you're having in there, you can now choose, like, for example, detailed report or labor summary report. And this is how they look. So this would take us usually, I don't know, I'm looking at Kathrin, maybe in half an hour for project assistance, exponentially more if you had to add more forms and reports into it. But this is just, again, one of those 1 or 2 click solutions where we get instant reporting, instant like verification, and we can trust that all the data that's reported there is up to date, and we can trust it. So I'm almost done with my time, and now I would like to give back to Kathrin to tell you more about how all of this saves us money.
Thank you very much, Jan, for these practical insights. I think this shows very clearly what is possible in reality. Let's now look at what this actually means in terms of business value. We analyzed typical mid-size pharmaceutical fast-track projects, let's say 3 million planning value and 50 million total project value. To keep it simple, I calculated an average 8 FTE working over 18 months in Forma. That means 4 to 25 engineers during the project life cycle. The calculation is based on structured use of Forma. All stakeholders working on one shared data platform. Everyone has access to the same up-to-date information. This reduces searching, coordination, and double work significantly. By this, each FTE saves an average 3 to 5 hours per week. That means 24 to 40 hours saved per week for the team. Over the full project duration means that the result of 1,700 up to 2,900 hours are saved for more efficient work. In monetary terms, with a conservative rate per hour of €100, we can save around 170,000 to 290,000 euros per project. And this is only based on organizational efficiency. In reality, the impact is even bigger, because we also reduce manual and repetitive tasks, as Jan showed you. We detect deviations earlier and make decisions faster and more reliably. What is even not included, we create fewer change orders. We can provide a shorter construction time. We reduce risks and liabilities. And last but not least, we've got fewer escalations, especially in MEP coordination. That means the real value using Forma is not only saving hours, the real value is project stability, because decisions are based on reliable and shared data. Let me finally summarize the key takeaways now. Before we used Forma, we had disconnected tools, Excel-based workflows, manual coordination. Information existed, but was connected or transparent. This led to high coordination effort and limited scalability. Today, we use one central platform connecting planning, site, and project management. Everyone in the project works with the same data. This creates transparency and clarity. We see earlier where projects deviate and where decisions are needed. The measurable result is we have 24 to 40 hours less coordination effort per week, which translates into value 170,000 to 290,000 efficiency gains per project. But what is even more important to me, we are able to decide earlier, faster, and better. We have fewer misunderstandings between all stakeholders, which means less rework. We create significantly lower escalation levels, especially in complex MEP environments as in our industry. So in the end, we don't just make projects faster, we make them more stable, more transparent, and more scalable. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for joining us today. Let's stay connected and feel free to reach out on LinkedIn.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you very much, you two. I saw a lot of questions coming in that also Chris, my colleague, already answered too. So maybe I can have the chance to put some questions on because we have already 4 minutes left. Jan, what is your next step? What do you want to have in the near future? And what other ideas do you still have in mind for Forma?
Yeah, for me, iteration is a big thing. And it's kind of a mantra around here. So the next step is always iterating the implemented processes and workflows first, and then make them better and like add more where it's needed. Another big step will be using submittals for tracking workshop drawings from external contractors, which we are right now like beta testing, and it looks pretty good. So we are like want to roll this out for the next bigger projects, and also implementing like schedules linked to issues and cost management are like top priorities next. Yeah, in terms of ideas, I'm just very curious about using the APIs through Autodesk Platform Services and to build our own automations and extensions. And then in the end, like connecting everything with a company-specific AI to feed our own database, like something like this. That's like really what gets me very excited here at PBM.
Nice, thank you. And Kathrin, as Jan mentioned, the cost management topic, what is your most important thing, or what are you most interested in cost management for Forma? What do you hope to improve in your company with it?
Oh, I'm interested in cost management at Forma because I see it as a key lever to make better, more transparent decisions. For me, it's not just about reducing costs, but about using resources where they create the most value. I want to improve transparency around cost structures and their drivers, enabling more data-driven decisions and clearer priorities. A major benefit I see is having all relevant information in one platform, ensuring the full traceability and consistency, and moving away from siloed solution and scattered Excel files. I see strong potential in linking cost to value, optimizing internal processes, and support strategic decisions, while maintaining a strong focus on employee value and innovation.
Yeah, thank you very much for your open words. I like working with you the next years, hopefully again, like we did in the last 3 years almost.
Likewise.
Wish you all the best. Thank you for having us today, holding this session. I think, we did it well. And for that, I think we close very exact on the moment to give over to Colin as well. If someone has a question, please feel free to reach out to us after the session. We will be answering.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jan, Kathrin, and Ines for this great story. I think it's great to see the benefits of it, even the ROI. I think everybody can benefit from this insight. So thank you very much for this session. And please let the questions come in. Like I said, Chris is in the background answering them. And if other questions pops up, please let us know. That's why we're here for. With this, we go to the next session. We had one great customer story, but now I want to welcome Paul Elliott. And even I am very keen on listening to his story on this digital transformation. With H&MV operating in a very specific high demand market of data centers and high energy solutions, the stakes are high. I think even issues are not only time consuming in delays, but could also be very significant cost impact. The demand for an effective and efficient platform are huge. So please, Paul, I want to know your story. Why are you using this process for people and all the projects with Autodesk Forma? The stage is yours.